All right, I know you guys see the title. I know you guys see the thumbnail. Some of you guys are for this. A lot of you guys hate this. We've been kind of talking about this the last couple videos a little bit, but I wanted to make a full dedicated video towards this topic. I want to make the case for Ben Simmons being a good fit for the Sacramento Kings. Now, we all know Ben Simmons has deficiencies, which is shooting. I get it. I know. But I want to talk about some of the things that he does do well on the court and how that would fit on our current roster with our current players and how he can help us get to the playoffs. Hear me out. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is defense. Now, I've been beating a dead horse, but you guys know I've been wanting that guy who can guard those big wing threes around the league. I feel like that's our weakness. I feel like that's where we suffer because we don't have anybody to match up with those guys. If you add Ben Simmons 6'8", 6'9", I think some people even list him at 6'10". I don't know if he's that tall, but he has that body type. He may not be that wing player. He's more of a transitional ball handler, point forward, but he can guard those guys. He can guard the LeBrons. He can guard the Tatums, all those guys that we have trouble with night in and night out around the league. Ben Simmons is known. One of his strengths is his defense. That's what everybody raves about, his playmaking and his defense. That will solve so much on the defensive end if we had him to guard those guys that we've frankly been having trouble. If you look, those guys light us up. We always have trouble with Paul George, Kawhi, Ingram, all those guys, LeBron. They kill us because there's nobody on the roster that can guard them. Ben Simmons can guard them. As a player around the league, he is highly regarded as probably top, if not top 3 wing perimeter defenders in the league. The Kings need that. Think about the Sacramento Kings. We can score with anybody. A lot of the games last season, and previous seasons, we're scoring 110, 115, 120. We can score. That's no problem. But the problem has been stopping the other team from scoring, especially in crucial times and situations of the game. He's one of those guys to where in situational scenarios to where a couple seconds in the game, a couple minutes, last minute, and you know where the ball's going. You know the ball's going to Tatum, Jaylen Brown. You know the ball's going to Siakam. You know the ball's going to these wing players. Who do we have to guard him? Nobody. You have him on your team. You have him on the floor. Now you got somebody that can clamp those dudes up. And if you ask me, I think that will boost our win percentage up just with him being on the floor alone. Even if you just brought him on as a defender, even if you took the ball out of his hands and say, Ben Simmons, run in transition, defend, let's go. We're going to the playoffs. I'm telling you. Now, I know naturally the first thing to do is to think about the last thing that you saw. The last thing we saw wasn't that good. It wasn't great at all, actually. Ben Simmons did not score in any of the fourth quarters in the last series they played in against the Hawks. He did not shoot the ball. I think he scored like maybe 4 points in like game 2. And in the rest of the fourth quarters throughout the series, he did not score any points. So I completely understand that argument because I'm with you guys on that. Like, there's no way that dude shouldn't be scoring in the fourth quarter when you're making that much money. I feel like there's 2 things that are hindering Ben Simmons from like really developing and really shining as a player. One being Joel Embiid. He's a big center who needs to occupy that low post area, occupy the paint, right? When you have a center whose main work is down low, you really can't get in transition. You really can't work how you want to work if you're Ben Simmons. Because if you know his game, he likes to score around the paint, right? We all know he's not a shooter, so he needs to score around the basket. That's why those two don't fit together, right? Because he's not a shooter. Embiid needs shooters. Ben Simmons needs to work that paint area. So when you have 2 guys who need to occupy the same space to be successful or to maximize what they're good at, it's not going to work. Here in Sacramento, we don't have that problem. We don't have a center who's our main focal point scoring wise or who needs to occupy that space for them to be successful. Our centers just need to play a little defense, get rebounds, and kind of get out of the way when De'Aaron Fox, and our shooters and Halliburton are going to be working on the perimeter or when they're driving to the basket, set picks. That's all we need our centers to do. So if you add Ben Simmons, now you have all that real estate under there. You have that paint to where he can work in transition. Look at this move right here. Boom. Look at that. You know what I mean? So he could do all of that. And then it's one of those situations to where, you don't have an Embiid that needs to occupy that space. He can get to work. Fadeaways. Look at that transition. Look at him right here. Great passer. You know what I mean? Like, So when you have, again, he's a playmaker as well. So now you can never have too many playmakers on a team. Never, ever, ever. If we had him, we would have De'Aaron Fox, Halliburton, Ben Simmons, 3 elite playmakers. Elite. You know what I mean? So, and then you're adding him as a wing defender, rebounder, playmaker. Look at that steal. Look what he can do in transition. Tell me, do we have anybody on our team that can do that? That play right there. Watch this. Strong. You can't guard that. There's nobody. You know what I mean? Like, look how it's almost Westbrook, Giannis type. You know what I mean? Like, but then he brings a little bit of different elements to the table because he's a playmaker. He can pass very well. His vision is second to none in the league. So I just feel like if you add that to our mix, it would just make us all the way better. We would be in the mix. We would be playoff contenders. And I'm not talking about 8th or 7th. We could probably be 6th, maybe 5th in the West if we had him on our team. Now, how would a trade between the Sacramento Kings and the Philadelphia 76ers look for Ben Simmons? Now, when you look at our roster and you look at what they need on their roster, they need shooting, right? And you'll probably need somebody to complement their team generally. Marvin Bagley, the third, he's looking to get moved on. I feel like he'd be a great fit in Philadelphia. That way he could play the 4. Tobias Harris could play his natural position at the 3. You move him down. You still got Embiid at your 5. You could probably start Maxey, and then you get the best shooter in the league, or one of the best shooters in the league, in Buddy Hield. It matches up as far as the cap, salaries. So Buddy Hield and Bagley for Ben Simmons. Now, again, this matches up as far as the cap space and the salaries. The only thing is the GMs will have to agree to this because Daryl Morey, he's being a little greedy. He wants everything. He wants the house, which I don't really think he's going to get. I mean, you got to see in this league, like you got to make trades that make sense for both teams. And nobody's just going to give up everything for Ben Simmons. This works right here. And on paper, a lot of people will probably be like, oh, no, that's not fair. Buddy Hield and Bagley, they don't match up to Ben Simmons. But then everybody's saying that Ben Simmons is trash and he's not worth anything. So which is it? That makes no sense. Let's just go off the numbers right now. Ben Simmons for Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley. Great trade for both teams. I feel like Buddy and Bagley both need to change the scenery as well as Ben Simmons. And I feel like it's great fits for both teams. Again, Philly gets a starting 2 guard and you get a power forward to where Tobias can play his natural position at the 3 and we get Ben Simmons. Now some of you guys might be saying, well, we're losing a great shooter. We need shooting again. All right, well, let's throw in Seth Curry because guess what? Buddy's probably going to be starting if he goes over to Philadelphia, right? Where does that leave Seth? I don't think they're going to bring him off the bench because he's been getting 20, 30 minutes a night. If you've been watching around the league, like he was their 2 guard. You know what I mean? So bring him back. Now the salaries match up. Look, so this trade is successful. This is ESPN. You know what I mean? So cap room, cap space, value, Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Buddy Hield, Bagley. I feel like that is great for both teams. Now, I know you see the analysis that says that would just make us +1 win and Philadelphia -5 wins. I don't agree with that. I feel like that's some type of weird way of evaluating how I feel like people don't evaluate Buddy Hield correctly. That dude, if you put him in pin downs in situations to where he can work, think like Reggie Miller. Remember, he would just come off those pin downs, run around the court, run the baseline. You know what I mean? Pick and roll. Like, you put Buddy in those situations, he's going to be elite. Like, that's going to take him to the next level. He can be an all-star in the East if utilized correctly. Bagley, again, new situation. He could work alongside Embiid, learn the game from him, get a little stronger, work with him in practice. I think that would make him even better as a player, and there wouldn't be so much pressure on him being that high pick. Now you're in a situation where you can kind of just play basketball, you know what I mean, and kind of just grow from there and maybe become a good solid NBA player where there's not pressure to be a superstar. Because let's be honest, when you're drafted that high, there's a whole lot of pressure to be to reach a certain level of expectation. I just don't think he's ready for that, and that's not his fault. We drafted him. Our organization drafted him. That's not his fault. Let him get a fresh start. I think this trade would be great for both teams. Again, I didn't want to make this video too long, but again, I feel like we have the coaching staff that can help Ben Simmons become a better shooter. I think he just needs to practice a little bit, and it's really a confidence. I don't think the shot is broken. If you look right here, the shot doesn't look broken. It doesn't look like Giannis' shot. And Giannis, he takes his threes. He doesn't make, sometimes he airballs them, but you know what I like about Giannis? He's not scared to take them. Ben Simmons just needs, it's something mental that he needs to just switch. It's almost like the Markelle Fultz thing, you know, when he went down to Orlando and he started playing very well before he got hurt. I hope he comes back, speaking of him. I hope he comes back strong. But Ben Simmons needs a change of scenery. You put him in a situation where he can excel and really display his skill set, which is defense, playmaking, transition, alongside the guys that we have. Bring Seth Curry on over. We have a shooter, and then we still have our other guys. We still have Davion off the bench. We still got the Halliburton, who's a surprisingly really good shooter. I think he can get better as a shooter as well. I mean, if it's put him at the 4, he could be a point forward. We got our centers, Keep Harrison. We got our shooting guards. We got a ton of shooting guards. We talked about that last video. And we got our point guards. Bring Ben Simmons to Sacramento. That's the case that I have. What do you guys think? I want to hear from you guys that are for this. I want to hear from you guys that are against this. If you're against it, kill my argument. Please kill my argument and tell me why he would not be a good fit here. Again, when you look at his strengths versus his weaknesses, I feel like he would bring a whole lot more to us than he does to Philadelphia. And I think he will really shine as a player, and I think this will be the place for him. Remember how Chris Webber came here and it kind of revitalized his whole career? I think Sacramento would be that for Ben Simmons, especially with everything he's been going through. He's been getting killed out there in Philly by the media, by the fans. So I think we would embrace him. I think his skill set would fit great here, and I think he would shine. I think it would be a beautiful thing for him to come here, and I think it would make us a playoff team immediately. Let me know what you guys think. I really want to hear from the guys who don't agree with this. Convince me why I'm wrong, right? Tell me why I'm wrong and not just say, oh, he sucks. Like, let's really talk about it. I want to hear from you guys. Like and subscribe to the channel. If you are feeling generous, I do have the Streamlabs link in the description. Feel free to tip me. You know what I mean? And, you know, maybe we can keep this thing going and really build this channel up the way it needs to be. I like where we're going. I love the interaction with you guys. I want to keep it going. So, you know, please consider that as well. Ben Simmons of Sacramento. Let's talk about it.